when did you come across like cryptocurrencies and blockchain?
It was 6 months ago, I think 6 to 8 months ago, when I started getting more involved in Twitter, and then started following Nischal and his tweets, and everything started with Xerox, then got into Binance, then uh, started learning that, getting to know that crypto is not just about finance, but there's many more things as far as the tech side is concerned, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Much excited to be a committer.
Yeah, awesome.
Yes.
Let's see. Next, I have Raguped. I'm not familiar with how to say your name. Maybe you could turn on your camera and mic and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Hello, guys. So my name is Pranay. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of involved in DAOs and node projects mostly.
Okay.
In the Web3 space, and about jumped into the crypto space about in 2021 March. As for me, I'm quite young. I'm about 20 years old.
Okay. Which DAOs are you involved with?
Oh, too many. I was in Rome. I was in Klima. I was in Pixel. So many of them. Actually.
Yeah.
And Concave. There are too many. And as we know, as for the timing, the time has been racked. It is shown that the rebasing mechanism has failed.
Hmm.
So
coins
you know
like
about
yeah,
Yes.
the coins with the rebase mechanism aren't working, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Because it is we have seen in this run that the rebase mechanism in this DAO space is kind of have its own flaws, and while the time get racked, how what Daniel Sista has done, and like so we are finding other ways, and we are seeing the nodes coming up strong block and Thor nodes and power nodes. Yeah, and yeah, I'm in this space as for now.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Vinu, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Can't hear your mic. Your mic has to get turned on.
Yeah, I am Venu. Hello to all.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. No, it's listening, sir.
No, just yeah. I mean, I was gonna say, just tell a little bit about your background.
Yes, sir. I am studying my first year MBA at present.
Okay.
I came to know about cryptocurrencies just 1 year back in 2021 March. I'm just learning about different technologies in cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies.
Okay, great. So you're not like in the tech space so much, right? You're
No,
more
sir.
like
No,
on
sir.
the side.
I am into management field.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's it from me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see. Yeah. Cream. Can you maybe turn on your camera and mic and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm sorry. I'm ill now. Very hard to talk.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. We can skip you. I mean, if if it's a issue. All right. Everything got switched around on my screen, but let's see. Follow gesture. Can you turn on your mic and camera and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself? Okay, there's 2 of those. All right, we'll skip you for now. Harsha.
Hi, Omar. Hi, everyone. So I'm
Hey,
Harsha. I was previously into e-commerce operation. I was in Amazon earlier for 1.5 years, and then I was in a kids fashion e-commerce called hopscotch.in. Uh, uh, then I came across Web3. So I like most people, I started with trading in crypto, and then I realized it's not about trading. There's a lot more to about lot more to this than trading. So I've been following a lot of people like Nishal, Nawal, Balaji, then went through Gary Gensler's course in MIT on money and blockchain. Yeah, so I've done some reading, and then I spent some time with Gitcoin DAO more as an observer because it was very different uh, uh, from the way Web2 works, the way I've been used to working. And yeah, and now here I am. Yeah, so my interest is in I'm seeing if I can build something for environment, animal welfare, or NGOs, to make them so it's some crypto regenerative crypto economic models for these causes.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, my own interest is in, using crypto to pretty much eliminate like poverty and hunger throughout the world.
Yes.
And I really think that we can eventually achieve that. One of the things that I feel like in the current state that we are in this world, like people are deprived of money to an overly excessive extent, and which eventually kind of causes people to have this obsession for money, right? And so people, like if they get some money, they don't know how much at what point to stop at, right? So they just keep working their whole life for money, and forget about like what really matters in life, right? So, but yeah, I think in the future, if we can have some sort of unconditional basic income, where everybody in the world, maybe receives some, fixed amount of income on a daily basis, through some sort of a blockchain. And then all we have to do to prevent runaway inflation on that is just add a very small percent of demurrage. And that just means like, think of it as like a currency tax, right? It's not a wealth tax because wealth tax applies to everything that you own, but a currency tax only applies to the balance that you have in your account of that currency. And this would only apply to the currency that you're getting for free. So if you only had even like a 2% per year currency tax, then there would be no like runaway inflation, even though you're giving, some fixed amount of money to everybody every day. So that kind of a system actually, we can use to kind of help eliminate, poverty and hunger in the world. So that's
Amazing. Yeah, and the other thing is like we have so many obvious glaring problems in front of us. We have like bad like government schools which are managed badly with no infrastructure, government hospitals which are managed badly with no infrastructure. We have so many environmental issues. On one side, all these are on one side. On the other side, you have businesses fighting for redundant, pushing redundant goods and services into the market. Like there is a gap, and I think like we have so many problems to solve, right? And yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think a lot of the problems, you can kind of trace it back to money, right? Like how do we structure our monetary system? And currently, our monetary systems are structured like top down, where nation states kind of create the money, gets created at the federal level, and then it kind of trickles down. And I think that kind of makes our system like really messed up because now at the very bottom levels you have people who the only thing they can do to survive is sell their time, right? And as the world becomes, more automated, and the need for human labor, direct labor, gets less and less, it's really going to make things difficult for those people. And so I think, having a world where, money gets created at the bottom and then works its way up into governments, where, like maybe you're contributing to a local, community fund, and then that fund then, contributes to a regional fund, and, eventually up to a national fund, and maybe even an international fund. I think structuring the flow of money that way will lead to a world where, governments are more responsible towards their citizens, right? And so, yeah,
Amazing. It's really
yeah,
exciting.
just something that I've been thinking about for many years. And part of the reason why I'm, working on Shardus is to get us to the point where we have blockchain technologies that are scalable enough to build something like a global payment system that can give a universal basic income. So, all right, cool. Yeah, thanks a lot. Let's see. All right, we have. I think we went through. Halo, you're next on my screen. Do you want to turn on your mic and camera and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself? Are you there? All right, we'll skip for now. Let's see. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Gib Olway. Starts with a G. If you're there, maybe you want to turn on your camera and mic and tell us a little bit about yourself. No? Okay. All right, we'll move on to Ram. Ram, are you there?
Yes, this is same from
Cool.
marketing team.
Hey, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, like I'm part of the same Shardeum marketing team
Oh, okay.
from India.
Cool.
All
right. Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Just want to hear more, so I'm just part of all the calls.
All right, cool. Yeah, so, with those introductions, let's just move on to talk about anything that you guys want to talk about. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. One thing we got to start thinking about is like more the details for how to do the node rewards. If you have any inputs on that, feel free to share.
Yeah, I have one question. As Nishal announced that the total supply of Shardium will be around 508 million coins. Is there any specific reason for selecting 508 million coins?
Yeah, so I think we wanted something like that was like 500, right? And I think Nishal said there's something special about the number 508. So it was close enough to like 500, but 508 makes it kind of mysterious and special. So it gives something else to talk about, right? Like, oh, why is it 508, right? So, yeah. But, at the end of the day, like exactly how many coins you have out there just kind of sets the resolution. But, it really doesn't matter at the end. It's the market cap that really matters,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Feel free to jump in. Somebody just posted that they wanted to speak. Should be able to. I don't think anybody's muted. Just need to turn on your mic. Okay.
I think Jitster mentioned that he wanted to speak. If not, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so I remember I read that Shardium, I think I read somewhere in the talks or something, someplace, that the most of the percentage of the tokenomics, I think, goes to nodes.
Yeah.
And I also remember that I think, I mean, the community or I think the what do you call it? Shardium boasts to have your own nodes.
hmm
Can you tell me about what is a node and how, if I want to run a node, or let's say if it's possible, how do we do it?
Yeah, so the way it'll look is, we'll be putting up like a Docker image, and you'll be able to download that Docker image and run it on, you know, some computer that you own, right? Ideally, it would be nice if you rented a computer at some web hosting company and run it on there. That way, you don't have to worry about your internet fluctuating and then your node getting kicked out or getting, penalized. So, yeah, so basically it should be pretty simple. We'll have, a guideline posted for how to download and run a node. And there's basically two types of nodes, validator nodes and archive nodes. So most people would probably want to run a validator node. The hardware requirements for it we'll try to keep as low as possible. I think, you should be able to buy or actually rent a validator type node for under $50 a month, right? So, it should be like a dedicated server, and you can rent a pretty decent dedicated server for under $50 a month. And then, if that server is generating you, let's say, like maybe $10 a day, you'd be making, pretty good return on that, right? So, yeah, but so that's basically the idea. And then the archive nodes are a lot more beefier in terms of their processing power, their network bandwidth, their storage requirements, things like that. So those might be run. They can be run by anybody in the community, but I feel that what is that people who are more professional and into the area of running these kind of nodes, they'll probably want to run those. And a node like that, might be thousands of dollars per month to rent and things like that. So, and then of course, there's not just the cost of the node, but you're also going to need to be staking some Shardeum as well, which gets locked up and can get slashed if your node misbehaves. So, you do want to make sure that, the network connection that you have and, things like that are good, because, if your node is falling behind, you're going to get slashed.
Okay.
And that's a way to disincentivize people from, trying to run a node which doesn't have sufficient hardware requirements.
Will that be like a permanent cutoff or a temporary halt until I fix that issue?
It kind of depends. Those are still things that we haven't finalized yet.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, if your network is not able to keep up, and other nodes, when they try to communicate to it, get like a timeout, then the network will decide and vote to kick your node out, and your node will get kicked out of the network. Plus, you might lose a little portion of what you had staked
Okay.
as
It
a
will be burnt,
penalty.
basically.
What's that?
I think the shards will get burnt.
Yeah, because you staked some shards, right? And so the shards that you had put up will, be lost. Now, I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, like if they get burned or maybe they go back to the reward pool, right? So they get recycled back into rewards,
Okay.
right? So, so something that could, so you have to be careful that you don't run a malicious node. And if your node gets caught doing something really bad, like creating, two transactions that are conflicting, like voting
Uh-huh.
yes and no for the same transaction. I mean, if your node gets caught doing something like that, you'll probably lose all the amount that you had staked.
Okay.
So, this is kind of ways to make sure that all the nodes, kind of participate and cooperate. Yeah.
Okay. And so okay, and just relating to that part, so the node will run. Let's say if it's a validator node, then the node will let's say run a validator function or the contract, right? Smart contract. I was. Am I correct?
Yeah. So a validator node basically has a lot of things that it has to do, right? So first, it'll be in standby mode. Like for example, let's say currently the network has 1,000 nodes in it that are active, and let's say the network doesn't really need more than 1,000 nodes. But what the network does is, like every minute or so, it might rotate out one node. So one of the nodes that's been in the network for a long time will get removed from the network, and because it's getting removed, without it'll be removed without any penalty, right? Because it served its time, basically. So then another node will be given a chance to join the network. And so because of this, the level of decentralization is not just the nodes that are active, but all of the nodes that are also in standby mode as well, right? So that would be the first thing. So that your node would be, submitting join requests to join the network. There's a process that has, some randomness to it, but it's deterministic in the sense that it uses some network generated randomness, which all the nodes can agree upon what that randomness is. And we use that to select which node gets into the network next. And then once it's in the network, its first job is to get synchronized on the data. So in Shardeum, nodes don't have to go through and read from the beginning of history all the way up to the current point, because that would just take forever, right? I mean, this is part of the reason why on these big networks like Ethereum and Binance and Polygon, you can't have too much node rotation, because anytime a new node joins, it takes like weeks sometimes, even on really good hardware, to get caught up to where the network is. So with Shardeum, nodes only have to catch up on the current state, right? So the current state basically is, all the accounts and what their data is, not all of that history. And so there's a way to do that in a way that's secure. And so once a node gets caught up, then it's now going to put out a transaction that says, hey, I'm ready, I can go active. All the nodes see that, and then they say, okay, this guy is active now, we can start including him in doing the consensus. And as user transactions are coming into the network, now they can also get routed to this node, and then this node also participates in the consensus of these transactions, and so on. And part of participating in the consensus of the transaction means that, you know, you might take in a transaction and you have to run it locally to see, like, is this transaction valid? Like, okay, this transaction was trying to send 5 tokens from its wallet to another wallet, but does it actually have 5 tokens, right? So if it didn't, then the nodes would vote, you know, against accepting this transaction and so forth. And so, yeah, so at that point, they're running the smart contracts and so forth, right? Yeah.
And coming now to smart contracts. So one last question will be, so I mean, I'm just so let's say if we talk about Ethereum, so the smart contracts are coded up in Solidity. If we talk about Solana, it's Rust. Polkadot also same. And I was in a discussion with Greg, so he was scrolling the PPT and I saw Node and TypeScript. Are Shardeum smart contracts coded on the same like TypeScript, or they require?
No, so with Shardium, it's going to be 100% Ethereum compatible.
Oh.
So Shardium will have the Ethereum virtual machine as you know, part of every node, and anything that you write with Solidity or Viper, and even compiled versions of your code can easily be ported over to the Shardium network. Now, if you know, Shardium underneath is written in Node and TypeScript and, you know, some Rust, but at the, you know, developing at that level, it's still exactly the same as, you know, Ethereum. I mean, I think Ethereum is written in C or C++, but you don't use C or C++ to write your smart contract. So yeah, same way.
Okay, so I'm assuming so the dApp development will be just like using Web3.js or Ether.js or something with the React.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Right, exactly.
Okay, got it.
And in fact, we had done a presentation, I think it was on February 8th, where we demoed, you know, deploying a smart contract to a Shardist network. And then, you know, we just used like Remix to do that, to develop it and deploy it and so forth. Yeah. And then we were able to use like MetaMask to interact with that contract, you know. So it works exactly the same as the Ethereum network.
Okay, yeah, I checked the previous recordings and they helped me, and I'll go through that a bit. So if there's the recording for that on YouTube, I'll probably check that out.
Yeah, just ask somebody in the Discord channel for where that recording is from, the February 8th demo of Shardium. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So, let's see. Harsh is asking what basically Shardium project is. So yeah, if you're new to Shardium, it's a Ethereum compatible smart contract platform, but one that's sharded already, right? So we know that, you know, Ethereum has been talking about doing sharding for a long time, but first they need to switch over to proof of stake completely, I think, before they can start thinking about doing sharding. And it's going to be a long process for Ethereum to do that, partly because, you know, there's a lot of assets on that network and you can't just, you know, make changes to it anymore that quickly. So Ethereum's going to go, you know, fairly slow. It'll be, you know, a milestone if they're able to get proof of stake going this year. And then I think sharding might be maybe in, you know, a year after. But in the meantime, you know, we've been working on sharding technology uh, since 2017. Um, and my background is in building scalable systems, and I came upon Bitcoin back in like 2011, and I saw that it's not designed to scale. Every node has to process every transaction, and I've been thinking about how to shard, something like this for a long time. And in 2016, I left the consulting work that I was doing and just focused on uh, working on the design for a sharded distributed ledger. And in 2017, started, putting a team together to actually build it. And so Shardeum will gain a lot of speed by using the Shardist technology that we've already built. So Shardeum doesn't have to start from scratch, right? So a lot of that sharding technology has already been built over the last 4 years. And so that's why, we can hope to get Shardist launch this year. But yeah, so from a high level, think of Shardium exactly like Ethereum, but it's going to be already sharded, and because of that, it can maintain a higher throughput than networks that are not sharded. And the nice thing is that it's truly scalable, because as you add more nodes, your TPS goes up. And so if you ever start hitting your capacity, then you just add more nodes, and you can horizontally scale.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Omar, I would like to know about whitelist. Will there be a whitelist for Shardium tokens?
I think we're not really planning to do like a direct sale of Shardium tokens like that to the public, because it creates a lot of issues with this being considered a security. So I think the current plan is to just do like a private sale, and maybe right before the network is launched, there may be some sort of a sale for the public. But yeah, so but Nishal would be the better person to check with on how we're gonna do the distribution of the tokens that are marked for sale.
Yeah. So any idea what will be like private sale criteria?
Yeah, so private sale might, mostly just be like accredited investors. Yeah, because there's a lot of regulations and stuff like that where if you don't follow that, then it's just not possible. But that's where we want to have like the community involvement, and for directly being involved with the project, people can be rewarded. Okay, so there was a few more questions up here. I'm gonna go down the list here. Would I have an idea for a project? Is there any person? Okay, so you said I have an idea for a project. Is there any person I can reach out over mail?
Recording is on.
Okay.
How was that?
Yeah, go ahead. I think it's okay to go ahead and record, and feel free to post it on YouTube and things like that. So, yeah, if you have an idea for a project, especially like if you want to build, a smart contract and a front end to that smart contract and so forth, definitely, contact. Let's see. Ron, any idea who would be a good person to contact for that? Probably, he doesn't want to share it just like in Discord, but he wants to mail it and talk to somebody about it. But the thing is,
Regarding,
yeah, go ahead, Ron.
sorry, this is regarding fellow user question or which question?
So this is regarding a question where someone says they have an idea and who can they talk to about it, right?
Okay, sure. Yeah. You can message me. I will redirect you to the right person.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, usually like Ram or most other people that are on the committers team. If you ask somebody, they'll direct you, and eventually you'll get to the right person in a few hops. But the other thing is that this whole ecosystem is permissionless. You don't have to ask somebody for permission to build anything. You can just go ahead and build. And like I think there might be some voting as to like, hey, which of these projects that are getting built look really good, and we can give more funding to. So there will probably be some ecosystem funding for interesting projects. So, all right, let's see what else. Can you tell me what are the ways to earn through this project for common people? Yeah, so currently, getting involved and helping in terms of like creating content or various different avenues for marketing and so forth. Right now, those are definitely ways to earn. If you're more technical, once we've put the code out and open sourced it, people will be able to look through that code. We're going to have bug bounties. So if you find a bug in the code, you can submit pull requests and earn that way. So that'll probably be the best way for people that are more technical. And and if you're really like a rock star developer and have like really good experience in building scalable systems, there's a form where you can submit to become a committer and join the team. So you can fill out that form as well. Let's see. So, let's see. I just want expertise you guys can bring on, and over that, I'm looking for pre-seed funding. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by expertise. If you want to turn on your mic and maybe explain what you mean. Because I really didn't quite get what you meant by that. And if you're looking for pre-seed funding, like if you have an idea for a project and you would like to get funding for that maybe could be done through our ecosystem, support funding. But that hasn't been hashed out yet. We're still waiting right now to get our foundation formed in Switzerland. So a lot of things are pending on that to happen. Is this project similar to Veloz blockchain? Actually, I've never heard of that one. So the blockchains that I know about, which are using sharding and that are doing a smart contract platform, is basically Ethereum 2, Near Protocol, Harmony, Elrond, and so apart from that, I'm not familiar with any other blockchain that's doing sharding and is trying to develop a smart contract platform. What makes this project different from any other sharding projects? Yeah, so actually I've just written a light paper and I'm waiting for Nishal to give me some feedback on it. And that light paper, I think, will answer that question really, really good. We've done a comparison of Shardeum with the other projects that are very similar to this project. And, we show like what are the key differences. So one of the major difference ends up being that we're able to actually achieve linear scaling, and we can grow and shrink the network based on the demand of how many transactions are coming into the network. So those are some of the two key important things. And in order to implement that, the technology has to be very different than what most of the other projects are doing. So, yeah, as soon as we put out that light paper, I think that'll answer your question really well. When can we expect the developer info docs, open source contributors to be put out? Yeah, so we're working towards doing that. So, there's a lot of components in this software that we feel are very unique and innovative. And we're going to be applying for defensive patents for these innovations. And basically, what a defensive patent is a patent that's very narrow in scope, meaning that it says, okay, only this way that we've done it, right? It doesn't try to broaden the scope to cover other things and then be able to go after people if they do anything that's similar to anywhere near similar to what you're doing. And so once we have that out, I think we can open source the code, right? So once those patent applications are in, we'll be open sourcing the code. And then at that point, people can start, submitting pull requests, running the code locally and so forth. So, sorry, but I'm traveling, so I can't turn on audio. Okay, no problem. But if you want to explain a little bit more with that question that you had, maybe I can take a look at it again. When light paper will be released? For sure this coming week. It's already a little bit delayed. I was hoping to get it out by Wednesday of last week. But there's just so many things happening, and I got pulled into a lot of meetings and so forth, and wasn't able to get it done until last night. So it should be coming out this coming week. You helped a lot of projects to scale, and that's kind of people I want to have on board. Okay, great. Yeah, any way we can, collaborate and help each other, that'll be awesome. can we develop dApps on Shardium? Yeah, definitely. That's the whole point of this project, right? And even the name, kind of sounds like Ethereum, uh, because the platform is similar to Ethereum, but it's sharded, right? So if you did sharding right now, and you had something very similar to Ethereum in terms of functionality, but with lower fees and a lot higher transaction throughput, then that's what Shardium is. Will there be any common connection to a Xerox and the Shardium project? I don't think there's any connection between Xerox and the Shardium project. Other than, Michelle is, CEO of Xerox, and he's able to continue operating with Xerox. Really good team there. And then even with Shardium, he's got a really good team doing a lot of the work. So Michelle basically kind of provides us, kind of guidance on Xerox and, Shardium, and he's sort of like the unblocker, right? So whenever the team runs into any kind of issues, then we can talk to Michelle, and then he can unblock whatever was causing the issue. Also, he's sort of like the figurehead for the project, right? I mean, he's very well known in the community, and because Michelle has started this project, a lot of the crypto community will look at this and take it very seriously, because he has a very good track record of building companies that have got a lot of traction in the past, right? So he did Crowdfire, which had like 20 million users, and then now Xerox is at 10 million users and continuing to grow. And then with Shardium, I think also, this will be a game changer for what can be done with smart contract platforms. So yeah, it'll be, it's great having Michelle guide this project. But other than that, there is no deeper connection between Xerox and Shardium. Let's see. I'm an expert in community management. I will be more than happy to help the Shardium project. Yeah, definitely. Please, post in there's probably, some channel where you can post that. If you can't find where you should post it, just post it in general, and let us know. We're always looking for people to help expand the community and awareness of Shardium, and somebody can guide you on how you can help out. Where should a fellow dev committer start to know about Shardium, general Web3 blockchain stuff? So yeah, once we have the code open source, and then we'll also be having a lot of documentation for Shardium, and that will help you get started right away. In the meantime, you can also take a look at Shardist.com, which has basically the documentation and some guidelines on how you can run a network locally and get familiar with how this technology works, right? So all the technology of sharding that's going into Shardium, that's been developed over the last 4 years through the Shardist project. And so, if you take a look and get familiar with that, you'll, have made a lot of progress in understanding how the scaling and the protocol level works in Shardium. I want to develop a decentralized platform where people can interact. May I connect with you over LinkedIn so we have a better conversation? Can't share the complete ideas over a public platform. Yeah, sure, definitely. And, a lot of people have connected with me on LinkedIn already. If you go on Shardeum.org, go to the team section, there's a link there for my LinkedIn profile. Feel free to connect with me there. And, one of the things with things that are kind of like not shareable in a public forum, then, when you share it with me also, I really can't be like signing NDAs and things like that. So, the best thing to do is if you really feel that your technology or something that you're developing is patentable, you should get a patent on it. Otherwise, at the very least, you can just, get a copyright or a trademark, and then, you can go ahead and share that with people without requiring them to sign an NDA or anything like that. And then, you can still feel that you're protected. So that's probably the best way to go about it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things that can be built on Shardium. And when you can do a lot of transactions per second, and the cost is very low, it really changes the realm of possibilities, right, in terms of what can be done now on these platforms. So yeah, I do expect to see new and innovative projects built on Shardium, which we've never seen before on Ethereum and other platforms. How to be part of a committer. Ram, is there like some document or something that maybe guides people on that? Or maybe, just post in the Discord channel and ask, and somebody will be able to help you.
Yeah, sure. So as of now, one is our central folder and our website. Any go-to place for anything, FAQs, everything will be answered. I'll start sharing all the links here so that whoever wants to get information.
Okay, cool. Maybe we should also pin those in like general. Yeah, so that people have access to those links pretty easily. Yeah.
Yes. If they are in the Discord channel, they will have access to all the resources. So key thing is people have to join the Discord channel.
All right, great. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check that out after the meeting. Yeah, so, there's still a lot of stuff that has not been decided yet, right? And so we're going to build this together, and we're going to, get input from the community and so forth. There's still a lot of work to be done on this project. And, Michelle is very innovative in taking this approach where we just kind of we barely had a website when we launched, right? I mean, we didn't even have a logo. And, I think we're probably the first project that's taken a approach where, we start like this early. Usually a project will not really involve the community other than maybe a token sale. And then, the team is doing all the work and making all the decisions. But, we're taking an approach that we call, OCC, which stands for Open, Collaborative, Community Driven. And so, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people to contribute and, share their opinions and so forth on the future of the project. So, yeah, Ron just posted in comments a link to the Discord channel and the website. So, any other question, guys? Okay, so Firepower says, just joined, so not sure if this was covered. If there's a pre-mine, will any info on that be released in the light paper? Yeah, definitely. The light paper has a section for the utility and metrics for the Shardeum coin, and so that mentions what percentages are set for mining, and how much there will be in a sale, and for the ecosystem and foundation and things like that. So, yep, that'll be covered in the. You're welcome. If anybody has any other comments or questions, you can always, ping me in the Discord as well. I take a look at that, not all the time, but at least like once a day, I'll try to look at that. What will be the private sale price of SHM coin? I think it's not totally solidified yet, but we're thinking maybe around like $1 per SHM coin. Yeah, and also there's going to be a lot of discussions that we have to have in the future for kind of finalizing how the node rewards will work, and how slashing will work, and all kinds of things like that. So there's still a lot to be discussed and developed. Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. All right, guys. Yeah, really appreciate everybody joining today. And I'll continue to do these kind of sessions once a week. And as time goes on, the light paper will be out, and then the white papers will be out, and eventually we'll have the source code out. We'll have an AlphaNet running, and we'll continue to do these. And then over time, you guys will get more and more familiar with the project, and be able to contribute directly with even the source code and so forth. So we're really looking forward to working with the community and building this in a way that I think has never been done before by any other project. So we definitely need your guys' help to prove out this model. So yeah. So with that, I think we'll kind of end this session, and look forward to seeing you all again next week. And feel free to ping me in Discord if you have any questions in the meantime. So
Thank you so much.
all right, take care, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.